let's play this super fun game called Guess Who Forgot Their Gym Tag and had to return home to get it. I'll give you a hint. His name starts with a C and ends with Risto. Anyways, we're doing that right now, which, whatever. You guys have movie magic and editing magic, so what I'll do is I'm gonna snap my fingers and you'll see me doing the first workout. So,
Alright, so let's deep dive into this back day. We started off with some chest supported rows. You don't know it's chest supported until I eventually get out of the way. But there's a pad in front of me which this machine comes with. Now, don't do rows how I'm doing them here. Instead, do them how I'm doing here. Keep your chest prompted up and drive with your elbows almost entirely. What you want to do here is you want to visualize your back. Now, your back is made up of multiple big and small muscle groups. So it's important to understand that time under tension and your mind-muscle connection is extremely important here. Here comes another set. This set a little bit slower, a little more controlled. And what I'm doing here is I'm essentially visualizing my body wrap around the pad of the chest support. What this helps me with is a greater ability to pull and a little more stability. You're going to see me push this chest pad forward and eventually drop it, and it's because we're moving on to our next workout. Pull-ups. I've found pull-ups to be super effective recently. I'm not necessarily sure if it has to do with the decrease in my body weight more so than it does with the increase of my strength, but I've been able to do a few more pull-ups than I have in the past. Here, I didn't count how many I did, but I can bet you it is more than what I've normally done. Quick little lat spread. And here we go with pull-ups again with a little more, awkward of an angle, I would say. Now, pull-ups are something which I'm going to start really incorporating into my back days, and it's mostly due to them just feeling super good. On a more recent back day that I just had, I incorporated weighted pull-ups, and those felt disgustingly good. So what you saw there was my hand essentially with the bar or the handle get caught onto the pocket of my pants. And it's funny because I find that I make this mistake a lot. And the reason I find that I make it is because I tend to lead with my pointer finger. And when I lead with my pointer finger, I tend to essentially drag my pinky. And when I drag my pinky, it comes a little bit towards my body more than I really think it should. And so when I start leading with my pinky instead of leading with my index finger, I find not only a greater stretch and feel, but I also find the movement just a tiny bit more stable and just a tiny bit nicer to hit overall. Now, I'm sure this is for a combination of biomechanical reasons, ones which I'm not too fond of, nor do I understand too in depth, but I do believe it has something to do with the positioning of what's essentially your forearm to hand to muscle. And I'll look this up a little more for future reference, but as far as I'm concerned and understand, that's essentially what it is. This is me just absolutely beat. And this is me hitting my left bicep again for some reason. I'm not too sure why. Maybe I'll cut this out. And so now we move on to our last back movement. You'll notice I hit a bicep movement before hitting a back movement. And that's because I don't want my biceps to be extremely tired by this point. And hitting my biceps directly at this point in time of the workout essentially allows for my back to slightly recover. And that's essentially what I'm looking for when I'm shifting between large muscle groups and small muscle groups, just a break. You'll see I hinge a lot with my lower back here. I'm not too sure why that is, but I am trying to essentially move away from that. But that's about it. I'm out.
Guess who just got home? I seriously always forget to pick up the camera, but it's no biggie. Oh, hey, Tom. Hey, Lily. Anyways, back day was kind of shit, low key. Actually, that was it. That was my entire back day. It was pull-ups, pullovers, and barbell rows, and also some chest supported rows. So back was a little bit toasty for sure. What does that mean now? It means I need to take a pump video because I didn't take one, and so I'll be inserting that right about now. Close your eyes. I'm gonna draw my drawers.
And here we go, the meat and potatoes of the reason we do this. You're gonna see me hit a few poses. These videos are about a week old at this point, from the point in which I'm editing now. Today's the 27th, so these were taken on the 21st, I believe. So about 6 days. I've since dropped a tiny bit of body weight, fluctuating or sitting around 146 pounds now as compared to 151 as I was a few weeks ago. But yeah, I mean, I just look at these poses for a bit and take my proportions into consideration, essentially. Again, I'm hitting these poses which feel more classic and look more classic, as I do plan on growing my legs and, you know, making them better. Speak of the devil, there I am flexing my legs, because I wish to compete in a more so classic competition than physique and or men's physique. But yeah, that's about it. I'll see you guys later. I'm out.